They say every family hides a secret. I never thought mine did, until the day I found the photo. It was tucked away in the attic, beneath a box of old letters and yellowed report cards. I was up there to find a suitcase for my upcoming trip. Not the truth that would undo everything I believed about my life. The attic smelled like mold and memories. Dust hung thick in the air as I pulled aside the curtain of cobwebs. That's when I saw it, an old wooden box. Locked. But the lock rusted enough to break with a gentle twist. Inside, I found it, a single photograph. Frayed at the edges. My parents were in it, smiling. Standing close together like newlyweds in a family ad. Their arms rested on the shoulders of a little girl. She had curly hair, bright eyes, and wore a white dress with lace at the collar. The setting was unmistakably our old house. The same backyard. The same swing set that still creaked in the wind today. But the girl wasn't me. I've never had curly hair. My eyes aren't that light. And I would have remembered a photo like this. It should have been part of our family album, but it wasn't. I turned the photo over. My fingers trembled. Written on the back in faded ink, Nyok's 5th birthday, October 18th. Nyok, not Fuong. Not me. For the first time in my life, my own name felt foreign. When I asked my mother about it, she froze. Literally froze, her cup of tea halfway to her lips. Her eyes locked on the photo like it was a ghost she buried long ago. Where did you find that? She whispered. In the attic. I replied. Who is Nyok? She didn't answer. Her hands trembled slightly, then tightened around the cup until it cracked with a sharp snap. Tea spilled across the table, seeping into the photo. She gasped, quickly grabbing a napkin to dry it. Her movements frantic. You weren't supposed to see this, she said, almost to herself. What do you mean? My voice cracked. Who is she? My mother looked at me, really looked at me, and for the first time in my life, I saw something unfamiliar in her eyes. Guilt. That night, I couldn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling. The photo on my nightstand like a cursed artifact. I googled everything I could, my name, my parents' names, hospital records. Nothing unusual. Nothing suspicious. Except, I couldn't find my birth certificate. I searched the file drawer where it had always been, next to my vaccination records and old school documents. It was gone. The next morning, I confronted my father. Dad, do you remember Nyok? He blinked. Nyok. I showed him the photo. His face went pale. And then, he did something I'll never forget. He looked me straight in the eye and said, Fuong, where did you get that? This is from before you were born. Before I was born. But that's you and Mom in the photo, I said. He rubbed his temples, sighing heavily. Fuong. It's complicated. No. It's not complicated. It's simple. Who is this girl? He didn't answer. He just walked away. I felt the first crack in the foundation of everything I'd ever known. And deep inside me, something whispered, you were never supposed to find this. But it was too late now. And I was going to uncover the truth, no matter how much it hurt. I stopped calling her Mom that day. Something about the word felt wrong on my tongue, as if I were speaking someone else's story. I watched her from a distance over the next few days. The way she avoided my eyes. The way she hovered near the kitchen window when she thought I wasn't looking. She had secrets. And they were eating her alive. I tried to talk to her again. Calmly this time. Who is Nyok? She didn't answer. Instead, she placed a bowl of soup in front of me like it could wash the questions out of my mouth. Eat, she said softly. You look pale. Tell me the truth, I demanded. Her hand paused mid-air. Then she looked at me and said something so absurd, so painful. It still echoes in my head. There are things you're better off not knowing. Fuong. Let the past stay buried. Buried? I repeated, almost laughing. You mean like a body? She froze. And in that split second, I saw it again. Not just guilt this time, but fear. That night, I searched the attic again. This time thoroughly. I went through every drawer, every crevice. And that's when I found it, a journal. hidden beneath a stack of moth-eaten blankets. The handwriting was delicate, feminine. It started out normal. A girl writing about her school, her friends, her dreams. She called herself Nyok, and on one page, dated a month before her 6th birthday, she wrote, "Mom keeps telling me not to talk about the fire anymore. She says it was an accident. But I saw her that night. I saw what she did." I dropped the journal. The fire, the one Mom always mentioned in passing, that awful summer when we lost everything. I was told the house burned down. But now I wasn't so sure who, or what, was lost. I confronted her again, journal in hand. "I found her diary," I said. Her face turned white. "I read everything. About the fire. About what she saw." My mother sank into a chair. Like her legs could no longer hold her. "It wasn't supposed to happen like that," she whispered. "What happened?" She looked up at me, eyes brimming with tears. "Your father. He wanted to adopt. After the fire. After she was gone. I didn't want another child. But then we found you." "Found me?" I repeated, my voice hollow. "What do you mean found me?" She hesitated. Then her lips moved, almost without sound. "At the hospital." I stepped back. "You mean I'm not your daughter?" "You were left in the ER. No ID. No family. You were barely 2. And you looked so much like her. So much like the daughter we lost." My chest tightened. "So you took me." "We adopted you," she insisted. "Legally. But we never told anyone. Not even your grandparents. We just started over." I stared at her, disbelief flooding my veins. "You replaced her," I whispered. "With me?" But that wasn't the worst part. Not yet. Because then she said something that chilled me to the bone. "We didn't lose Nyok in the fire. She ran away. That's what the letter said." "What letter?" She stood, trembling, and pulled open the drawer near the sink. From beneath a bundle of old bills, she took out a wrinkled envelope. Inside was a torn sheet of paper, with a child's handwriting. "I saw what you did. I'm leaving. I can't be your daughter anymore." No date. No signature. Just that. And a drawing. A house burning in the background. A girl crying in the rain. That night, I lay awake thinking about her. Nyok, the real daughter. The girl who disappeared. The girl whose place I took. And a horrifying thought gripped me. What if she's still alive? What if she comes back? And what if she wants her life back? It started with a voicemail. An unfamiliar number. A voice I didn't recognize. Female. Soft. Cold. "You don't know me. But I know you. I know the room you sleep in. I know the mother who lies to you. And I know the truth about the night of the fire." Then the line went dead. I stared at my phone, my heart pounding in my ears. I called the number back. Disconnected. The next morning, there was a letter under the door. No stamp. No return address. Just one line written in all caps. "She killed me and then she replaced me." Attached was a photo. It was the same girl, Nyok, older now. Mid-20s. Maybe. Dressed in black. Standing in front of a gravestone with no name. I dropped the envelope like it was poison. I didn't tell my mother. Instead, I drove 2 hours to the old house. The one that had burned down, the one from the story they told me again and again. I needed to see it for myself. The property was nothing but ruins now. Weeds strangled what used to be the porch. The swing set in the backyard was rusted and twisted like something from a nightmare. I stood there, staring at the ashes of a childhood that never belonged to me. And I realized, I didn't know who I was anymore. I wasn't Fuong. I wasn't Nyok. I was a ghost, trapped between someone else's past and a future that didn't feel real. That night, I got a second call. Same voice. Same chill in her tone. She told everyone I ran away. But I didn't run. I was locked in the basement. She left me there while the fire spread. I couldn't breathe. I ran to my car and drove straight home. The house was silent when I entered. Too silent. I called for my father. No answer. My mother was nowhere to be found either. And then I noticed, the attic door was open. I climbed slowly, heart in my throat. Every creak of the stairs felt like it would betray me. The air was thicker this time. Heavier somehow. Like it remembered things I wasn't supposed to know. In the attic, my mother stood facing the wall. I called her name. She didn't move. There was something in her hand. A necklace, burnt. Blackened. The pendant melted out of shape. But I recognized it from Nyok's diary. The last thing she wrote about before the fire. When she turned, her face was streaked with tears. She's back. Isn't she? She whispered. Nyok. She survived. I nodded slowly. She called me. Her knees buckled. She collapsed to the floor, shaking. I thought she was dead. I thought the fire would erase everything. But she left. She got out. I heard her scream, but by the time we opened the door, she was gone. She says you locked her in. No, she cried. No. I only meant to scare her. She was going to tell your father. About what I did. About the affair. About everything. I stood in silence. Horror blooming in my chest. You tried to silence her, I said. And when she vanished, you replaced her with me. I needed a daughter, she sobbed. I needed something to fill the hole. I stepped back. You didn't fill the hole. You created a grave. That night, I couldn't stay in the house. I went to a motel, sat in the dark, staring at my reflection. Was I really innocent in all of this? Was I just a child caught in someone else's tragedy? Or was I now the living shadow of a girl who should have died, but didn't? Then my phone buzzed. Another message. Meet me tomorrow. 9 p.m. Bring the woman who calls herself your mother. Attached was a location pin. A warehouse on the edge of the city. And beneath it, one final line. You've been living my life. Let's see if you're ready to die for it. We drove in silence. My mother sat beside me, her fingers trembling in her lap, a scarf wrapped tight around her neck like she could hide from the past. I didn't speak. Not because I didn't have anything to say, but because I didn't know what would come out if I opened my mouth. Rage, fear, grief. All I knew was that in a matter of hours, everything would be different. Someone would finally speak the truth. And someone else might not make it out alive. The warehouse was as abandoned as expected. Rusted gates. Broken windows. Wind howling through the open spaces like ghosts whispering secrets. 9:03 p.m. We stepped inside. She was already there, standing in the center of the room, illuminated by the glow of a single overhead bulb. Nyok. She looked like me. Or rather, I looked like her. Same height. Same cheekbones. Same birthmark behind the left ear. It was like staring into a cracked mirror, one version burned. One left whole. Her eyes flicked to my mother. You brought her, she said flatly. I took a shaky breath. What do you want? She ignored me. Her gaze locked on the woman who had once locked her in. You watched me scream, she said, voice shaking. You turned the key. Do you remember that? I didn't know the fire would spread so fast. My mother whispered. That's your defense? Nyok laughed bitterly. That you only meant to traumatize me? Not kill me? You disappeared, Mom said. We thought you ran away. I did run. Nyok snapped. After I broke the window and climbed through with a broken leg. After I dragged myself through smoke. Through ash, just to survive. And when I came back the next day, you were gone. All of you. My mother's eyes filled with tears. I thought you were dead. I thought I lost everything. Nyok stepped closer. No. You lost your control. And you replaced me with her. She turned to me now. And you. You lived in my room. You wore my clothes. You used my name at school. Didn't you? Fuong wasn't your first name. I froze. It wasn't. I admitted quietly. But I didn't know. Not until now. Her voice cracked. You got the life I should have had. I didn't ask for it, I said. I didn't even know it wasn't mine. We stared at each other. Years of stolen memories stretching between us like barbed wire. I'm not your enemy, I said softly. Nyok looked down at something in her hand. A small silver lighter. The initials NH engraved on the side. She flicked it once. The flame lit her face with a glow that made my stomach churn. I came here to end this, she whispered. All of it. No. I stepped forward. This doesn't fix anything. She looked at me. Really looked. And for the first time, her eyes softened. Then she turned to our mother. I don't want revenge, she said. Not anymore. You've already lived with what you did. That's punishment enough. Tears fell from my mother's cheeks. She dropped to her knees. I'm sorry, she whispered. I'm so sorry. Nyok didn't move. Instead, she walked past us. Slowly. Like a shadow melting into the dark. At the door, she paused. Live your own life now, she said to me without turning back. Don't carry mine anymore. Then she vanished into the night. We never saw her again. No police. No press. Just silence. My mother changed after that night. Grew quiet. Sicker. Like her body had finally caught up to her guilt. She died within a year. On her hospital bed, she held my hand and said, "You were never a replacement. You were my second chance. Even if I didn't deserve it." At her funeral, I placed the burnt necklace on her chest. And then, for the first time, I said goodbye. Now, years later, I still don't know where Nyok is. But sometimes, I see a woman in the crowd, a face that looks like mine, eyes that hold too much pain, and I wonder, was I raised in her shadow, or did I carry her light? All I know is this: every family hides a secret. Mine was a girl who was never supposed to come back, but did, and in doing so, set me free.